Hello and welcome to another episode of Tumorously Yours. Today we have with us Parnika, my classmate and friend from MBA college, who lost her dad in 2022 to cancer and yet chooses to be like sunshine in everyday life, living life to the absolute fullest. She has graciously agreed to share this journey, and I know it's going to be very tough, Parnika, but thank you, thank you, thank you. We are ever grateful to you.
Really, thank you,
Yeah,
Panika.
no, I think I spoke to Tamana before. I've heard these podcasts, and I think if it helps anyone out there, if it just lightens up the mood even of somebody going through something hard, I think it's totally worth sharing the story. So thank you for having me.
Most gladly.
Yeah.
So, first of all, we'll set a little bit of context for everybody who's listening. So, you tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, where you stay, what you do, and also about your dad. What was he like? What was the cancer that he was diagnosed with? How did he get diagnosed? How long was his treatment? Like an overview. So, we're just going to let you take us into it.
Yeah, of course. I'm Parnika. I'm from Haryana originally, born and brought up in Haryana, but currently I live in Hyderabad. As Tamanna mentioned, I did my MBA from ISB, and right now I'm working at Microsoft as a product manager. Been here 2 years almost. We'll not get into the career boring details because that's not the point. But yeah, as Tamanna mentioned, I lost my dad in 2022. This whole treatment of his and everything happened when we were at ISB. He was diagnosed in 2021 end ish 2021. He already had a couple of other issues regarding his liver when he was diagnosed. So basically, what happened was he started having some throat pain in general. And I'm from a tier two city in Haryana. It's called Karnal, and there the medical facilities are just not that great. So he was visiting local doctors, and everybody just kept prescribing him antibiotics. Which actually are not good for his liver. The antibiotics were not working, and he started having difficulty swallowing food. Like it was painful, and he was losing his appetite. So, some doctor in a government hospital there recommended that, hey, why don't you just go and see a better hospital because something clearly is not working out. He then went to Medanta where already his treatment was ongoing, and they suggested he get like an X-ray done of his throat. When the X-ray was done, they could see something. They couldn't make out obviously at that point that it was cancer. And then we did a PET scan, and that way it became quite clear that it looks like a cancer. We did a biopsy, and I remember that was such a sadish night for me because I was in Hyderabad. I knew they're doing the biopsy that day, and they were taking the train because it's more convenient. It was winters, and the train had gotten delayed, and they were sitting at the station post his biopsy. I mean, he was already shivering, he's cold, he's weak. I got so mad at them that, hey, why wouldn't you tell me? I have friends living there. I could have done something. But yeah, it's just parents, right? They'll never bother you, especially when you're away from home. They're like, okay, the results will come, we'll tell you, and tum padhai pe dhyan do, don't worry about all of this. I'm like, fine. Luckily, I had access to his mobile app, and randomly it just struck me one day, hey, let me just check. I don't need to ask them. And that's when I realized that, hey, yeah, it's so many technical terms. First of all, I didn't even understand what that even means. So, and then I Googled, and I was just researching like crazy. And then I realized, oh shit, he actually has cancer. And then I called him up
Hmm.
and confronted him about the cancer. He's like, तो क्या हो गया बेटा? तू टेंशन क्यों ले रही है? आज तक मेरे को कुछ हुआ है, जब मुझे कुछ हो. That was his
Oh.
response.
So when you looked at the app and you found out that, your dad has been diagnosed with this, what was like your immediate reaction a little more in detail? What made you keep going through college and instead of like dropping everything and going to him?
Yeah. Yeah, when I found out initially I was so confused. It didn't make any sense. So I actually, being like an engineer, I just threw myself into research really just trying to make some practical. I was not even thinking about my emotions at that time. I was like, no, I have to find a solution to this. I have to fix it. I was just trying to play doctor, probably कि नहीं आप ये करके देखो, वो इससे बात करो, उससे बात करो. I had detached myself from my feelings कि मैं feel करूँगी तो I will not be able to take any action. To your second question about how I just went through, it was first thing I actually did not want to go through it. Honestly, I
I
wanted
know,
to go
right? You didn't want to go through because you wanted to be with him.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was just too attached to my father. I think he was the one who forced me to go through it. Till he could talk, he would always say, Ki, you have to do this, you have to do, you cannot come home. He and I think he has had this guilt for the longest time because at one point we were talking about his liver transplant surgery to just fix the cirrhosis that he was going through, and he said, I would rather die than have you deteriorate your quality of life by giving me your liver. That's what he told me, that I would rather die. So he has always had this guilt in his mind that I am ruining my children's life by being sick, which is why even during my MBA, he just kept on pushing me that you have to do your studies. You cannot come home. That thing, plus, I think therapy really helped me compartmentalize my feelings at that point. So all I was doing is just not thinking about it. I stopped talking to him. When he was going through his treatments, I couldn't talk to him because if I spoke to him, I will not be able to do anything else.
Reality
So
will
I would
hit.
just, yeah, I would just get async checks with my mom that how is he feeling, and he knew why I'm not talking to him. He knew if I'm going to talk to him, it's just not going to be nice. And then my partner, he was like a huge support. Matlab, I couldn't have done it without him. So these couple of things just kept me going, I guess.
But I have a question. That you said that he always put on a brave face because he wanted you and your brother to make sure that your life is not getting disrupted because of his health. Um, do you think that's a quality you got from him, that you also now were putting on a brave face to do the same thing with him?
Yes, I think so. He used to say, "तू शेर का पुत्र है, तू परेशान नहीं हो सकता कभी लाइफ में." So he used to say that to me, and it's funny, but I believe that at some level. I'm like, I am
It's so
the
cute.
daughter of a very
Must.
strong man. I am not going to be bogged down by some little problem. I Whatever, we'll see. So that attitude actually did come from him.
I was going to ask you that you spoke about your husband Manav and who was your boyfriend at that time, and it's never easy to, especially considering the fact that you come from an upbringing where you are coached to be strong, to deal with
Yeah.
things in a way that you're not breaking down, melting down all the time. Like I've also been coached in a way that रो मत उठो चलो भागो, but it's okay. कभी रो भी लिया तो ठीक है, but वो अभी सीख रहे हैं, तब नहीं सीखा था.
Yeah,
Uh,
very true.
so at that time, to have an emotional anchor in Manav, and for him to kind of support you in your emotional, like ups and downs and all the journey that you would have been going through, couldn't have been easy for him also. So I want to know about that dynamic a little bit more, and I want you to kind of like speak about him a little bit.
So during that time, I remember that initially I would just not cry in front of him because like I don't cry, right? So and he would never ask me to be a certain way. He would just listen. The best thing was he was not trying to give me solutions because that annoys a person who stands like, I'm not asking for solutions, I know what I'm supposed to do, right? That's how we are brought up. But he would just
Yeah.
listen. And something that he did, which I think is so hard to do, he would never bring up any of his problems.
Oh
Like
my.
for the first 2 years, it was like his life has no problems. Like he shielded me from every shit that was going on in his life. He would not bring up any problem. And he would just be like, so I had a particular time slot in which I would talk to him. I would just rant to him in general. And that's how he created that safe space for me to just be myself. And I think that's when I knew कि ये है, I can marry this guy. He can handle me. He'll be able to jailo me.
Nice. I think having a supportive partner when going through something so difficult in life and who creates that safe space for you, right?
Yeah,
And he did that through just curiosity. Like he would just ask you, "Oh, you be it.
yeah.
Just tell me." Okay. I think yeah, that's really nice. That's great. Uh, Funny, you also mentioned, that uh, you were taking therapy, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and this is something which is people who've gone through this journey, either by themselves or as a caregiver, they always say post journey that they wish they had taken therapy at the start. And you are the first person we are meeting who has done this, who's actually taken therapy at the start. So, how did therapy help?
So, how therapy helped is it just put a different perspective about my feelings. So, what my therapist would do is I would tell her, see, this is how I'm feeling. कि यार you often end up feeling कि मेरी ही life इतनी क्यों खराब है? Why am I going through this? What have I done wrong? कि मेरे साथ ये सब हो रहा है. This is such a common feeling that I hear from people who are going through it or people who are just suffering in general in life. And my therapist would put different examples to give different. For example, she would say कि यार when you used to go to school, you would have to get up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. to catch a bus or something. At that time also you'd feel यार मेरी लाइफ इतनी क्यों खराब है, बाकी लोग तो सो रहे हैं, मुझे क्यों उठना पड़ रहा है सुबह 5 बजे या 6 बजे. So that's how she explained that grief is like air. It will expand in whatever space you give it.
I want to ask you, Parnika, that so cancer generally changes not just the person who is going through it, but like everyone around who was closely involved in it up close and personal. And that's also one of the reasons we do this podcast, right? Because it has affected you enough to change you to some extent. And
Yeah.
I want to know how you saw it change your dad, because you said he used to sing and then he couldn't do such a simple thing like for us imagine not being able to talk is just not fathomable at the moment, right? Like it's just like हाँ ठीक है बात तो करनी ही है आवाज तो है ही. To be in that condition it would have changed him immensely, and how it
Yeah.
changed you also I want to know. Because it might have brought out certain emotions in you to be able to see that everyday things are changing, little things.
So I remember when Manav came to meet him for the first time, and I'm so glad that they could meet because he passed away before we got married. So when he came to meet my dad said this for the first time ever in his life. तो मानव ने उनको बोला कि पापा आप ठीक हो जाओगे, इट्स ओके, you'll be fine. And he said, मतलब थोड़ा थोड़ा उनका वॉइस वापस आया, he said that बोलते तो सब हैं पर हो तो नहीं रहा मैं ठीक. So that's when I realized that अब उनसे actually नहीं हो रहा है. And with every difficulty that he faced, everything, he was just
Yeah,
losing. उनका
yeah,
नहीं हो रहा था.
yeah,
I mean, nothing
yeah.
mentally prepares you for what is about to come. I sort of was when that happened. I sort of was. It's fine. He's in a better place now. जो बोलते हैं ना, actually, I actually felt that he's in a better place now.
Mm, mm,
So I think it really made me stronger. It made me feel that if I can endure this pain in my life, I can see my father like this. I can wish well for him and care about myself, then I don't know if there's anything I cannot do in life.
What is amazing and what is very commendable is that you are choosing to draw from it, because you
mm,
have from every situation we all have the option to draw positives, negatives, anything, right? But you are choosing to be a person who will say कि मुझे जिंदगी बड़ी करनी है अपनी. So it's a very
That is,
commendable thing. I'm like,
that is because when I do that, I feel that I keep my father alive. I feel
I
that I
love that.
carry him with me because he was so full. He used to love life. He would be very sad if he saw me sad. He would be like,
mm,
ये मेरी बेटी कैसी है जो अपनी लाइफ एंजॉय नहीं कर रही. He was that person who would go on random trips, just enjoy his life. He would full of confidence, कुछ भी कर देंगे, मजे करेंगे life में. And if I don't live that life, then what am I his
Yeah.
daughter for? So I carry him
I
with me and I choose to say that I'm going to live my life because he sacrificed so much for this life that I have.
That is what I adore about the fact that how you live your life, because you're choosing happiness in the littlest things. You're finding ways to be happy, and I think that's a very very tough choice. Every day, every second, it's not easy. You said that even at his funeral, you didn't cry, and you didn't cry
Yeah.
for a long time after,
Yeah.
and it took you a long time to actually get to the point that you released it in any way,
Yeah.
in the midst of which you also got married,
Yeah.
and you also had, it was the same year that your father passed, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of, like, if I were to look at it as a third person, it's a bunch of major down and major up in
Yeah.
your life in the same year. um,
Yeah.
and weddings are just places where your parents play an important role. So
Yeah.
what was that duality of the situation
Yeah.
like for you?
So when it happened, I was in denial, honestly, for the longest time. Even at his funeral, there were people coming to me and saying, "Oh, you have to cry. Oh, you should cry." I mean, I'm sure they had my best intentions at heart, but it just doesn't work like that. You can't make people cry. So I remember there was this time when we had to take a decision to stop his further treatments because he was on a ventilator. And we pretty
Yeah.
much knew, like it was a day before, we pretty much knew that he's not going to make it. And I told my brother and I were alone at home. My mom was with my father at the hospital. I told my brother that, hey, this has happened. And he cried. And I cried. And that's it. And then we both did not cry at the funeral. Because we were like, हो गया बस ठीक है. That's what we thought
Mm,
at the moment कि इतना ही होता है. Because उसके बाद तो मुझे तो गुस्सा आ रहा है. मुझे तो लोगों पे हो रहा है, डिनाइल हो रहा है कि नहीं ठीक है, सब ठीक है. I was actually feeling that everything is fine in my life. Those were the feelings I was having. Which is what led to कि ठीक है, let me move on with my life because my life has not
Hmm.
changed. Everything is the same.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. My mom was also like ये क्या कर रही है, and I was like नहीं नहीं करते हैं, रोका करते हैं, 3 महीने में शादी करते. It was even with my roka and my shadi, it was only a 3 month gap. I was not even taking a long
mm,
gap. So through that time, I was just like, nahi, this is how life is supposed to be, and nothing has changed. I was basically in denial, essentially.
denial, yeah.
I did not allow myself to feel anything. I don't know what, maybe I was watching somebody else's wedding video where the father was doing something, or some father related video came up, or I was looking at it. Something happened, broke down completely.
Just,
I was with my husband. It's just like tears and tears, and I'm wailing and I'm shouting and I'm crying. It was that bad. So, like people cry at funerals, I was crying like that post later. So, and after that, it was not like ek baar roke ho gaya. It just kept coming every week, every other day. So at that time, I remember I used to start keep in my phone, how am I feeling? And I wrote that grief actually comes in waves. Some may be smaller, some may be bigger. And they're going to hit you very hard, but they're going to come. I think it still happens. I don't think you ever get over it. But it just gets
Yeah.
bearable. It gets bearable with time. You accept your feeling. Acceptance, by the stages of grief, right? You're angry, you're denial, you're angry, then you're feeling it, and then you accept it. So that acceptance phase is okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
You can live with it. But the
Yeah.
grief phase is actually it's too hard.
It couldn't have been easy to have to relive this, but thank you so much. You don't know whose life you are touching, and I'm pretty sure you will.
Thank you so much for
thank you,
having me.
Parnika.
I really like talking to folks. Thank you so much for having me. Be hopeful. Be hopeful that even if things are not fine, you will be fine. Just never lose the hope in yourself because you will be fine.